Yes, welcome to Off the Rack with RugerSix for a video that's been long overdue, the 03 Springfield Rifle. And as you could see in the preview for this video, the clips were done in 2010 of March. So let's get into this 03 rifle. We're going to do an overview on my particular Springfield 03 rifle. I don't want you to panic. I won't be wearing the helmet the entire time of the video. It is British. It's not an American Doughboy helmet. I don't have one of those, but I want to thank New Bonzo for loaning me this one. The difference between the two, very similar in design. The English one, or the Brits, had a canvas type bungee, if you will, or elastic type chin strap, where the Yanks had a leather chin strap. Let's check out this gun in further detail. Okay, let's begin with the brief overview of this rifle. I paid $635 for this rifle in 2006. I thought it was a pretty good deal. I really like the rifle. It is not all original. It is a Springfield Armory rifle. One of the things about this rifle is it's not all Springfield parts, okay? For example, the barrel is a Remington barrel, and we'll get into details with this in a minute. The wood's in very good shape. It doesn't have Arsenal markings on it, like Arsenal rebuild markings, so I'm not really sure about the stock on this. Most of the Arsenal rebuilds had, like, you know, numbers stamped, and I didn't find any numbers stamped on this stock at all. It doesn't mean that it wasn't Arsenally rebuilt, or it could just be that somebody mismatched parts and put this together. I don't know. I really don't care because it shoots and works great. I enjoy shooting it. Another example of something unique and different to this one is you can see the bolt is kind of a parkerized greenish color. And if I got my facts straight and I remember correctly, these were kind of in the era of Vietnam. So these guns were used from World War I on up to even Vietnam. So probably in a sniper package. This one here also retains of course has the plate in the back for the cleaning kit, which is over here. You get a little cleaning kit and a tool there. I do have a sight hood for this. I don't like the sight hood. I really don't like sight hoods on 1903 rifles. I don't know why. I just think they look a whole lot cooler without it, but that's just my personal opinion. But anyhow, there's just a quick rundown on it. It does have the leaf sight on it. It is, like I say, it's a 1903, not a 1903 A2 with the aperture adjustable peep sight. Let's talk about the barrel for a minute. How do I know it's a Remington barrel? Well, at the end of the barrel is an RA with the bomb logo, and the date is 8-43. So this is a 1943 Remington Arms barrel, and Remington was marked RA, and that's how you can tell. So with the bolt, you'll find the marking, a stamping, an R. It looks like it's a double R. I can't tell, but it's right here, and there's an R stamped in the underside handle of the bolt. Okay, I didn't plan to get into any big history lesson here on this review. Bear with me, this is probably going to be a little bit lengthy video because there's a lot of material to cover, but I think it's important to mention this. During production, there were some issues with the 1903 with the receivers and the bolts, the soft metal issues. It was due to a single heat treatment process that they used. They later would have to use a double heated process to treat the metal and make it stronger. They had a lot of issues with receivers blowing up and failing, etc. So the magic number is 800,000. Okay, so anything below 800,000, you might want to be advised to not shoot that firearm, not shoot the rifle. Okay, that's more for collectors only. Anything above 800,000, you're okay. They started that process, and according to the source that I've read, it's possible that even before 800,000 they started taking care of the issue, but that's kind of the safe number to stick with. Let's get back out and check out some shooting clips.
Okay, we're shooting this 30-06 FMJ ball. This is from the Civilian Marksmanship Program, CMP. This stuff I bought for my M1 Grand, and it just wouldn't feed. It's belted ammo, so the nice thing about having all of this ammo is that this good old 1903 Springfield just eats it up. So let's shoot a few more rounds. Wasn't real smooth.
One of the most unique features of the Springfield rifle, the 03 in particular, is the magazine cutoff. This has actually a magazine cutoff. It has a little lever here with on. Well, with the bolt open it won't close, or off, as you saw in the pictures depicting this. Right now we're going to charge the weapon. Now what I'm using here is inert rounds, and let me show you what we have. This is what's loaded in the Springfield right now. Okay, there's no primer, there's no gunpowder, it's just the case with the bullet. So let's go ahead and charge the weapon. Okay, the weapon is cocked and ready to roll. We're going to now flip our lever here. It's an on, we're going to flip it off. Okay, and what that's going to do is that's going to lock out the magazine. There's 4 cartridges in the magazine. There's one in the chamber. I'm going to extract the round in the chamber. Okay, and now you can see with it opened up here that there's ammo right there. There's rounds right there. We're going to go ahead and slide the bolt forward, back. Okay. If you notice, it didn't chamber a round. Okay. No round has been chambered, and basically it locks out your mag. See that? Now when I close the bolt and I turn the lever back to the on position, okay, once again we're back in action and we can chamber a round. And you can see a round just went in, and when I extract it, out it comes. Again, so with our lever in the on position, that means that the magazine is on. It is active. It is ready to charge rounds and extract as you chamber them. So with it in the on position, again, you can chamber the round, extract, chamber the next round, extract, and break the window. Now off, okay, and that should lock our magazine out. So we should be able to extract the next one, and now it will not chamber the next round. Now you could actually do single action. You could actually load one singly if you wanted to, and make it like a single shot. Why in the world did they have this feature? It's kind of weird because it's a little confusing, because when you put it in on, I would think on means that it locks the mag out, but it's actually the opposite. So when it's on, it's actually the magazine's actually able to chamber, okay, cycle. With it off, then it locks it out. So go figure. But anyhow, interesting article in American Rifleman on that, if you're curious about why that is. April 2011 issue, on about page 44, they had a little article on it, which was kind of neat, and it discusses that because it is kind of unique. And actually the 1903 was one of the last American battle rifles to have that feature. One of the reasons was they wanted to conserve ammo. They didn't want the soldiers wasting ammo by just bolting off round after round. For training purposes, it was a feature that helped them as well. So there you go. If you were wondering about that Springfield magazine cutoff, there's a little information on that. Okay, we have the M1905 leaf sight on this gun, and I'll zoom in on it here, as you can see. that's a configuration that I would normally shoot it in, but for long range you also have the option of raising the leaf, or the ladder I call it. Kind of reminds me of a ladder. That comes up, and on your elevation leaf you can mount this. You can move this up and down for elevation. Windage adjustment is right here, okay, and if you look you'll see I'm moving it one way or the other. You can see it right. You can see the sight how it's moving. Okay, so that's your elevation. Excuse me, windage. That's basically the sight that's on this gun. I've never used it in this configuration. They're kind of, I couldn't tell you what all the stuff means on them without really doing a bunch of research on them. I'm sure there's more people out there that know a lot more about this kind of stuff than I do, but anyhow, it's pretty cool. I did want to mention that you actually have a trap door, a magazine trap door underneath the magazine well, so you could actually, if you had to unload the gun, you could actually unload it from down below here. So that is one of the options on the Springfield. Let's see if we can get this back on here without... There we go. Okay, there it is. Okay, Josh boy first, here you go. Here's our bayonet. He and I discussed this, and I was trying to determine why my 1908 bayonet does not fit on my 1903 Springfield rifle. I do not quite understand that. It starts to slide on, but it's too thick. So I'd have to practically pound it on to get it on there, and then I'd have to pound it to get it off. So let me show you what I'm talking about here. And but before I do that, I do want to say that this does fit on the M1 Grand quite nicely. Slides right on, locks into place. Albeit it's a little loose, you know, you can jiggle it, but it does fit in there and locks in tight. Okay, here's my dilemma. This is about as far as I can push it on. It's extremely tight right there. And the only thing I could figure was taking a file and filing this thing. I don't know if when this was rebuilt, or let's take the bayonet off here. You know, if they didn't file them down, or if there's some reason why, if they're made to file down. You know, and it's got an H on it. I don't know what that means. I might want to figure that one out. That could indicate something there. But anyhow, I can't get a bayonet to fit on this thing, and it kind of bugs me, because I thought that this one should fit on there. It's definitely the same era. It is a cut. This was probably used in World War II. You can see that it was a cut version, basically because you can notice that the groove, the blood groove, is not rounded. It's completely just cut. So this was at one time the longer bayonet. But that's my dilemma, so start pouring in with the ideas and let me know. Well, I think we've covered pretty much what I want to cover on this particular rifle. I do apologize for the length of this video. I did go kind of long on the cutoff, the magazine cutoff, but I thought that's pretty interesting. It's probably one of the most interesting features of the rifle, and I do apologize I couldn't give you a little more details on those sights. It does have the leather sling on it. I don't know. This looks like an original. Looks like it's been on there for a while. I got some cleaning to do on it. I can see that. One of the things I want to say about this particular gun is that there's a lot of good resources online. You can also get good resources from certain places. This one came from the CMP. It's a read first publication, and basically just it gives you an introduction to the rifle and helps you to kind of understand it a little bit. I think it was only like maybe $5 or $3. I don't know. Maybe they're about $5 now. You can get those from the CMP, and it's just like I say, it's kind of nice. If you're unfamiliar with a rifle like this, it gives you something, guidelines to go by, cleaning and operation, all that good stuff. So that's a good publication. Another excellent publication, a good source of information, comes from the NRA. It's a reprint. It's on the Model 1903 Springfield Rifles. A wealth of information here, and it's not very thick, so you can get you know, you can get some information real quick. I used this publication as well as the other one for this video. This one here is definitely a very thick book. This one is the Model 1903 Springfield Rifle and its variations by Joe Poyer. It is a North Cape Publications book. It's a very great asset if you're into collecting these rifles. A wealth of information. They talk about the different types of bolts, the stocks, and by the way, this is an S stock. It doesn't have the pistol grip on it, and all that kind of stuff. Now in this book, I want to make a note. They make a note that they classify things as like type 1, type 2, type 3. That is just a classification for you to understand the difference between the two, or variations out there. The government did not use that kind of system for identifying anything on these. So there you go. There's some useful information that can help you if you're interested in collecting, or if you own one of these rifles. Well, that's all we have for today. I want to thank you for joining me on this edition of Off the Rack with RugerSix. Until next time, stay safe out there. Happy shooting. See you later.